Corvus Belli has given me early access to Next Wave, and I need to talk about something that I don't know that anyone else is going to mention in their launch coverage. This faction is built around humans collaborating with the evolved intelligence, the entity that invaded humanity in the first place. The frontline troops, the Harbingers, are described as heralding manifest destiny for a new humanity. The elite Ironsides are literally told by Achilles that he saved them from a living death so they can die better. So before we talk stats and fireteams, we need to address the elephant in the room. Are Next Wave actually the good guys? Or is this the most elaborate propaganda exercise in the Infinity setting? I'm Infinity Gamer, and this is everything you need to know about Next Wave upon release. Let's start with what Next Wave actually is. After the combined army occupied human territories, some populations were integrated into the hegemony and given full citizenship. Achilles, yes, that Achilles, is now leading a human military force that serves the EI while supposedly protecting human interests. The official line is that things got better under direct EI management. In fact, there's a direct quote that since the EI took over direct management of the occupied territories, things just kept getting better. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. The Harbingers, the main infantry, are recruited from occupied territories where people had to rid themselves of their oppressors, except now they're fighting for one of those oppressors. The text literally says they're packed with alien technology and determined to bring about humanity's manifest destiny. That's colonialization language. That's how rhetoric used to justify historical atrocities now repurposed for alien occupation. Now, I'm not saying don't play this faction. The moral ambiguity is actually fascinating from a narrative perspective, but Corvus Belli is doing something genuinely interesting here. They're presenting a faction where the propaganda doesn't quite match reality, and they're trusting players to notice the cracks. Compare this to Pan-Oceania or Ariadne, where the fiction generally portrays them as they see themselves. Next Wave's lore is written from their perspective, but it's unreliable. Pay attention to phrases like Achilles would make sure the EI's intentions do not go astray. That's not confidence. That's anxiety dressed up as loyalty. Right, with that established, let's look at what you're actually putting on the table. Before we dive into individual units, we need to talk about what makes Next Wave mechanically unique, because it directly reinforces the faction's themes. The defining mechanical feature of Next Wave is techno-organic. Multiple units have this skill, the Ironsides, Steel Jaws, Juggernauts, and whilst we don't have complete rules at the time of doing this video, the expectation is that techno-organic units can be repaired by both engineers and doctors. Think about what that represents. These aren't purely biological soldiers or purely mechanical constructs, they're hybrids. The Ironsides have Crotala techno-organic vests grafted to their spines. The Steel Jaws are saurians modified with techno-organic viruses. The Juggernauts are humans neurally bonded to cyber proto-lions. Mechanically, this gives Next Wave exceptional sustainability. You can heal these units with either medical or engineering support, making them more versatile than pure infantry or pure tags. It's a tactical advantage. But thematically, it's the entire faction's philosophy made explicit. Next Wave soldiers aren't human anymore in the traditional sense. They're integrated systems, part biology, part technology, dependent on both to function. You can't separate the organic from the mechanical without killing them. That dependency is literal. The Ironsides can't remove their vests. The Rain Dancers can't turn off their modified cubes. The Juggernauts are neurally wired to their mounts. Everyone in Next Wave has been modified to the point where they need hegemonic technology to survive. So when Achilles talks about protecting humanity, he's protecting a humanity that's already been fundamentally changed. The question isn't whether humans can remain human within the hegemony, it's whether what Next Wave represents even counts as human anymore. The techno-organic skill isn't just a game mechanic. It's a statement about what this faction is, human biology integrated with alien technology in ways that can't be undone. And right, with that context, let's look at specific units. Next Wave has 8 distinct unit types, plus Achilles and Pandora's characters, and let's run through them quickly. Then we'll talk fireteams and tactics. Harbingers are your basic line infantry, 4-4 movement, CC 15, decent ballistic skill at 11. They've got courage, combat instinct, and dodge +3. Multiple weapon options include a hacker variant. These are your objective holders and order generators. They're classic line infantry at 13 to 20 points depending on loadout, so they're very efficiently costed. Rain Dancers are close combat specialists with a disturbing backstory. They're PTSD veterans whose trauma has been weaponized through a special cube that keeps them functional while letting them enter a murderous trance. 6-2 move, 23cc with martial arts level 3, mimetism -6, and stealth. The Red Fury options at 24 points is notable. Ironsides are elite troopers who put in stasis by extra bioweapon, then awakened with techno-organic devices that keep the pathogen suppressed. Remove the device, they go back into stasis. 6-2 movement, BS -3, albedo -3, making them excellent fighters. APHMG option at 44 points is good. Contrabandoleros are former resistance fighters and smugglers, and yes, some are just criminals who saw an opportunity to wipe their records. Surprise attack -3, infiltration at PH16 and camouflage. These are your objective grabbers and backfield threats at 26 to 29 points. Cliff jumpers are adrenaline junkies who used to perform illegal wingsuit stunts in occupied cities. Now they do orbital combat drops at PH13. Super jump parachutist, 21-23 points. Tech Drakens come in two flavors, Steel Jaws for close combat and Black Hearts for firepower. These are cyborg saurians from Crotala, basically weaponized dinosaurs and techno-organic upgrades. 18 to 90 points for Steel Jaws. Good cheap pieces, Black Hearts are slightly pricier but pack ranged punch. Juggernauts are tags with a unique gimmick. They're humans riding cyber proto-lions. Alien predators with neural links. The rider and mount work as one unit but can separate. 78 to 82 points, excellent stats, 8-2 movement, 22cc, 14 BS, heavy pistol with DACC weapon and melee. Glyph Warcore are war correspondents from the hegemony, 4 points with dodge +3 and the journalist skill. They're probably auto-includes for cheap orders in scenario play. And then you've got Achilles himself, 62, 63 points, 24cc, 15 BS, MA4, Frenzy, no cover the works. He's a monster, and Pantora at 24, 29 points with the Fireteam Master Stingers, making it crucial for certain builds. This is where next wave gets interesting tactically. You've got multiple fireteam options that allow very different playstyles. Team Achilles fireteams let you run Core, Harris, or Duro with Achilles, Patroclus, Pandora, Tusa, Drakios, Kodali, and Rain Dancers. This is your Hero Hammer option. Shadow fireteams are notable, but Harbinger fireteams can run 1 to 4 models as Core, Harris, or Duro. This gives you a solid midfield presence with order efficiency thanks to using line infantry. Research fireteams are built around Pandora with Stingers, who, those separate profiles I haven't seen yet, but Pandora's FT Master skill makes her essential for those builds. That's likely to be a really good order, but his fireteams for heavy hitters, Juggernauts, Ironsides, Steel Jaws. This is your armored punch. What's interesting is how flexible this is. You can build aggressively around Achilles and Juggernauts, or play more conservatively with Harbinger cores and infiltrating specialists. The faction seems to reward a multitude of approaches. So here's what I keep coming back to as I read through this material. Next Wave isn't presented as obviously evil. The soldiers believe they're protecting humanity. They think they're building something better. But the text keeps showing us the cracks. The Rain Dancers, whose mental illness is being exploited for war. The Ironsides, who can never remove their techno-organic vests without dying. And all the Harbingers, who speak in revolutionary language while enforcing occupation. Even the Contrabandoleros, former freedom fighters, now working for the entity they once resisted. Achilles says he'll make sure the EI's intentions don't go astray, but he's already compromised. He's already part of the system. This is genuinely sophisticated faction design. Corvus Belli could have made them obviously villainous or obviously heroic. Instead, they've created something that forces us to think about collaboration, occupation, and whether good intentions matter when you're serving a fundamentally unjust system. Whether that makes them interesting to play or uncomfortable to field, that's for you to decide. But don't let anyone tell you this is just humans working with aliens. It's more complicated than that. And the complication is the point. That's the overview. In my next video dropping later today, we're going to do a full tactical breakdown, how these units actually perform, what the points efficiency looks like, and how Next Wave compares to existing factions in competitive play. The embargo lifts on the 10th of October, so if you're watching this on launch day, welcome to the conversation. I want to hear what you think about this faction, the lore, the gameplay, all of it. Are you excited to play them? Do the moral implications bother you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this useful, subscribe for the full Next Wave coverage series. We're going deep on this faction over the next few weeks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.